Square. And then there's this Halloween night at the Superdome in New Orleans. 73,000 frenzied revelers are set for a night of trick or treat. And what a treat. The Pittsburgh Steelers face the reigning Super Bowl champion Saints on NBC's Sunday Night Football.
America, it's Sunday night, and that means football night right here. When the NFL and NBC collide, it's a sweet Halloween matchup. The Steelers and Saints are knocking at the door.
All right, Sunday night, where are you? Waiting for the game that bleeds red, white, and blue. You want some football? We want it too. Hey, Jack, it's a fact. The show's back in town. Steelers and the Saints in a scary showdown. The stadium's rocking. Time to crank up the sound. NFL's best have come to play. Coast to coast, there's just one thing left to say. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Get on your feet for a star-spangled fight. More than a game, it's every fan's right. That's why we're waiting all day for Sunday night.
And he throws it right into the arms of Troy Polamalu.
We got a ball game now.
Brees gonna go deep. The pass is perfect. Touchdown.
Sunday night football on NBC. Al, Ed, and Chris are the best on TV. The stars are out. It's the place to be. 'Cause the NFL rocks on NBC.
The final night of October, it's Halloween night at the Superdome in New Orleans as Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers get ready to face the reigning Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees on Sunday Night Football. Halloween in New Orleans. Some would say that's a redundancy. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer, welcome to New Orleans. This is going to be a great sideshow tonight and a great main event as well. The Saints come in with a mark of 4-3. This is a team coming off a loss to Cleveland here last week. Drew Brees threw 4 interceptions. Still minus Reggie Bush. He'll miss a 6th consecutive game. In a word, every Saint tells you we have just been inconsistent as they try to recapture some of last season's magic. Now, Pittsburgh has been consistent. Ben Roethlisberger was suspended for the first 4 games. They almost ran the table. Wound up 3-1. He's come back, led them to 2 wins. They look good on offense. They look great on defense. They've given up the fewest points in the National Football League. And right now, a lot of folks think that the Pittsburgh Steelers could be the best team in the AFC and maybe in the National Football League. So, Chris Collinsworth, nice outfit, by the way. Good
Thank you
costume.
very much.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, where do you rank them right now?
You know, they just look like the best to me right now. I mean, defensively, you talked about it. They're really second to none at this point. They can run the football well enough. They proved they could win without Ben Roethlisberger, and since he's come back, he's looked tremendous. So at least until this one's played tonight, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers.
They try to get to 6-1. The Saints try to get to 5-3, minus Reggie Bush, minus Pierre Thomas, their other running back, minus 2 starting cornerbacks. So they play with a shorter deck tonight. How are they going to beat Pittsburgh?
Well, I can't really create a scenario in my mind where I think the Saints are going to be able to run the football against the Steelers. Really, nobody else has either. So that means you put the ball in the hands of Drew Brees and you cut it loose. So you get a great quarterback against a great defense, a few ghosts, a few goblins. Happy Halloween, everybody.
It'll be crazy tonight. Anything can happen. And the game should be terrific as well. The Super Bowl champions from 2 years ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Super Bowl champions from last season, the New Orleans Saints, on Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Hyundai, maker of the 2010 Genesis, the vehicle that does everything better. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by Subway Restaurants. Enjoy $5 foot-long subs morning, noon, and night. Spanish audio provided by Telemundo. NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Mike Tomlin in the middle of his 4th season as the Steelers head coach, a regular season mark of 36-18. Moments ago, down on the field with Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Thank you very much, Al. Tonight is Ben Roethlisberger's 3rd start after missing the first month of the season. How do you assess his play so far?
Ben, he's done a nice job, no question. He's had to knock the rust off, but that's natural. The thing that I've been excited about, he's gotten better within each game, and I expect him to do the same tonight.
The atmosphere here at the Dome is always crazy, but especially tonight. How do you expect your team to handle it?
You know, we better handle it like a developing world champion. That's what comes with being with what we're trying to be, and we're faced with a stiff test tonight, but we got a bunch of competitors. Hopefully, we're up to the challenge.
All right, Coach, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And Al, the Steelers' top-ranked defense will have linebacker Lamar Woodley, who's been nursing a hamstring, but are without their starting defensive ends, Aaron Smith and Brett Kiesel. As for the Saints, they are without their starting quarterbacks, Jabari Greer and Tracy Porter. Linebacker Scott Chandler returns after missing the last 2 games with a hamstring injury.
And those are, thank you, Andrew, some significant injuries on both sides. Sean Payton at the age of 46, facing the 38-year-old Tomlin. Came here in 2006 post-Katrina, and you know the rest of the story. There's a party in New Orleans. What a shock. Garrett Hartley to kick off. Pittsburgh won the toss, elected to receive Emmanuel Sanders, a rookie out of SMU, who fumbled the opening kickoff last week in Miami, but then had 2 subsequent real good runbacks to set up several points, and this one will go out of bounds, but not until it gets to the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, and Anna will come to the 20-yard line as we take a look at the Pittsburgh starters.
Ben Roethlisberger, Corey Rawson, Ohio.
Rashard Mendenhall, Illinois. David Johnson, Arkansas State.
Hines Ward, Georgia.
Mike Wiley, Old Perry Walker High School.
Keith Miller, Virginia.
Max Starks, Florida Gators. Chris Kimoyatu, Utah.
Marquise Pouncey, Florida.
Trey Essex, Northwestern. Flozo Adams, Michigan State.
We'll be spotlighting that Pouncey from time to time tonight, a rookie out of Florida, #1 pick, who figures to be another in a long line of great Pittsburgh centers. And Roethlisberger off the play fake, hits Mendenhall, and that's a gain of 9 yards, and Pouncey threw a nice block. With Roethlisberger, most of you know the story. Suspended for 4 games. Originally it was going to be 6 games, so he had to miss their start where they were 3-1. Then came the bye week. Then he got back into action at home against Cleveland, and last week against Miami, involved in a controversial play where he fumbled at the goal line near the end of the game. The officials could not determine who recovered, so Pittsburgh kept the ball, kicked the field goal, and beat the Dolphins. 2nd down and 1 out of a tight formation. Mendenhall can cut it back over the right side and picks up a 1st down after the 33-yard line. Here are the Saints' defensive starters.
Alex Brown, the Gator Nation.
Remy Adele, South Grand Prairie High.
Cedric Ellis, USC.
Will Smith, The Ohio State.
Danny Clark, Illinois.
Jonathan Vilma, the U.
Scott Shanley, Nebraska.
Pat Robinson, Florida State.
Darren Sharper, William and Mary.
Roman Harper, Alabama.
Malcolm Jenkins, The Ohio State University.
And Pat Robinson just limped off the field, a rookie corner. Here is Ward trying to get a block, and that's a great play made by Roman Harper to fight off the block and stop him in his tracks after a very short game.
There's a lot of different things going on out here now because so many injuries, and you see Malcolm Jenkins right there in your picture. He's now having to play corner because of some injuries to their starters, Tracy Porter and Randall Gay. Patrick Robinson, who is supposed to be covering Mike Wallace, the speed receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So don't be surprised if they start coming after Lee Torrance early, his replacement.
Torrance, 24, was lined up against Sanders. Here goes Mendenhall around the right side again, and Richard takes it up to the 37-yard line off a Sanders block. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
That was a big block by Sanders. Watch this crackback. He is officially a Pittsburgh Steeler now. Whack on a defensive end, Alex Brown. That's pretty good.
Third and 5 from the 38-yard line. Noeldy Moore is the back. He's their third down back, number 21. Ward stays in the block, and that pass is incomplete. Trying to get it to Moore. Alex Brown put the pressure on that time, and it will be fourth down.
Well, Noeldy Moore has become their third down back, and you'll see him right here. Really never look back for the football. Scott Shanley had him in coverage, and I just don't think that he knew that he was hot on that play. Early pressure on Ben. He had to get rid of it.
Daniel Sepulveda, the Steelers' left-footed kicker in his fourth season. Lance Moore, number 3 wideout for the Saints, is back to receive the kick, and he calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 25-yard line, and that is where the New Orleans Saints will take over on Halloween night when we come back. Sunday Night Football brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Toyota and the Tiny Football League, add your Pee Wee team. By Samsung, the apps you want most now on your TV. And by Papa John's, you can order a pizza online at papajohns.com. Halloween parade winding its way through downtown last night. That's original.
Appropriate, too. Boy, Fred got like 8 stitches in his chin today.
Yeah. Very topical. Saints' first play of the night from the 25-yard line is a quick flip to the left side. It's caught there by Robert Meacham, gain of 3. Here are the Saints starters.
Drew Brees, Purdue Boilermaker. Chris Ivory, Tiffany.
Keith Evans, Auburn.
Marcus Colston, Hofstra University.
Dever Henderson, LSU.
Jeremy Shockey, University of Miami. Jamon Bushrod, Towson University. Carl Nix, North Salinas High.
Jonathan Goodwin, Lower Richland High, Diamond.
Jari Evans, Frankfurt Pioneers.
John Stinchcombe, University of Georgia.
And on second down, the flip goes to Julius Jones, who is their number 2 running back right now, the former Cowboy and former Seahawk, and that is a gain of 11 and a first down for the Saints.
Well, I tell you what, for Julius Jones, you make Troy Polamalu miss in the open field, you've done something significant. Polamalu had him measured up, and Jones just made that move. They've been looking for anybody out here to do some of the things that Reggie Bush used to do before his injury. That was a good start.
At one time, Julius Jones looked like he was a budding superstar when he first came to Dallas and Bill Parcells was there. Older brother Thomas has had a pretty good career as well. First and 10. And that pass is incomplete as Brees tried to check it down to the left side. It will be second down. Lawrence Timmons put the heat on the Super Bowl MVP.
Well, last week the Cleveland Browns had a lot of success with this amoeba-looking defense. Look at all these guys. Not one guy with his hand on the ground, just up, moving around, trying to confuse Drew Brees. And it worked again, at least thus far, for the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Something they don't do a lot of. But this is a copycat league, and if it worked for the Browns, why not?
And for Pittsburgh, of course, minus those 2 defensive ends, the great Smith and Kiesel, giving them a different look defensively under Dick LeBeau. That pass is caught by Moore out in the flat. McFadden makes the tackle, and here is the Steeler defense.
Ricky Hood, Missouri. Casey Hampton, Texas.
Nick Eason, Clemson University.
Lamar Woodley, University of Michigan.
James Ferrier, Virginia. Lawrence Timmons, Florida State. James Harrison, Kent State.
Ryan McFadden, Florida State.
Ryan Clark, LSU.
Troy Polamalu, University of Southern California.
IT Swagger University.
Leave it to Ike Taylor to put that coda on it. Swaggin. 3rd and 8 from the 43-yard line. And Brees throwing, and the pass was right there and simply dropped. Bullseye to Marcus Colston, and he drops it, 4th down.
Hey, got a little shot on the tail end of it from Troy Polamalu, too. And watch Polamalu back here. He sees Drew Brees' eyes all the way. Look at him. He's looking at Brees. He's going to come up and make the break. There was William Gay in front of it, but that's going to be a game tonight between those two. Polamalu follows quarterback's eyes as well as anybody, and Drew Brees, an expert at looking defenses off.
He might have gotten a fingertip on it. Antoine Randall is back to accept this nice kick off the foot of Thomas Morstead. And that's where Pittsburgh will take over with 10:16 to go and a scoreless first quarter at the Superdome. Tomorrow night, a Saturday Night Live special, 4 decades of TV's funniest women. The women of SNL tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, Pacific 8 Central, and Mountain right here on NBC. From the 11, both Mendenhall and Isaac Redmond, 33, are in the backfield, and they're going to give the ball to Redmond, and Redmond's going to pick up a first down and gain 15 yards. First-year guy out of Bowie State, and a guy who's been their short yardage guy to this point this season. They like him. Mendenhall is number 1. Mwelde Moore is their third down back, but Redmond sees quite a bit of action.
Yeah, nice run by Redmond, but he's going to get a help from an old friend here in Hines Ward. This guy, not only one of the leading receivers in the National Football League, he always finds a way to make those blocks on the edge. Big reason why I think one day he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
From the 26 on first down with the empty backfield. Shotgun, so they go in a 5-receiver set, and Roethlisberger's pass is incomplete. Threw it to the outside, and running straight up the field was Antoine Randall, who played 4 years with Pittsburgh, then went to Washington for 4 and was brought back.
Well, it's going to be a night where Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, is going to have to be creative. He has a lot of starting cornerbacks out. Randall Gay's been gone for the year. Tracy Porter, the Super Bowl hero, Jabari Greer. He's taking safeties, playing them at corner. He's got all kinds of issues in the secondary, but he will not stop blitzing, trust me.
2nd and 10, and again they go with Mendenhall and Redmond in the backfield. Redmond the fullback, and he'll do the blocking, but not efficiently enough as Mendenhall gets stuck at the line of scrimmage. Will Smith and Jonathan Vilma are right there. It'll be 3rd down and 11 for Pittsburgh.
Well, the Saints really feel like they struck gold with Malcolm Jenkins. Here's a guy that's a safety that's flipped over on the outside. He's right back here and is now playing the cornerback position. He can come up and fill on the running plays like that. He has just been invaluable in this year of the injury in the secondary.
3rd and 11. Roethlisberger's going to take a timeout. Crowd is full throat with 8:44 left. First quarter. No score. Log on NBCSports.com/SNF Extra. Among the things tonight, the extras we have for you, costume cam. And check that one out. And check out probably 90% of the 70,000 people here in uniform. 3rd and 11 after the Pittsburgh timeout. Here comes the blitz. Roethlisberger gets jostled and taken down. And as is so often the case with Ben, he can hang in there. He can absorb a tremendous amount of contact. A lot of times he's able to escape, but not this time.
Well, Greg Williams is always going to blitz. Look at all the guys. They're going to come from everywhere here. And the reason they do that is they want to sit out here. They know you've got to throw it high. So they just jump the routes, and even if you get a completion, it's going to be for 7 yards. That is probably 90% with the Saints that they're going to blitz in that situation.
Pearson Prelo figures to get at least a half a sack on that. He started to get him down. And Sepulveda with a flag thrown at the 47-yard line, and the flag thrown against Sylvester Stevenson, number 55, with the whack job at the 41. Pete Morelli is the referee tonight. It's the first time we'll hear from him.
It's a little intense out here tonight, isn't it? I mean, there's been some hitting. There's been some. This has been good.
There are fouls on both teams. Holding. Number 56 of the receiving team. The illegal man going out of bounds. Number 37 of the kicking team. By rule, the penalties will offset. 4th down.
And it was Sylvester. I called him, well, I had him as Sylvester, Stevenson. His first name is Stevenson.
That may be, Lance Moore may think that's his name now after that hit.
Right.
He's got to go back out there and do it again. That's the worst part. You take a shot like that. Now you got to go line up and catch another one.
My name is Moore Lance.
Yeah.
He just got lanced.
I tell you, that Lance Moore right there, though, has been invaluable with Reggie Bush out. He has become the man-to-man beater in this offense.
And Sepulveda again. It's a line drive kick. And Moore will collect it at the 33. Trying to find room, and does. And gets spilled up at the 49-yard line. Then the ball is loose. But the field judge comes in, and you can see the line judge as well, both signaling he was down. End of play, the 49.
Didn't you think that when he landed sort of head first, that's when the ball came out? Remember, the top of your helmet is the same as your knee going down. So let's take a look here.
These days, you never know.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
The elbow.
That forearm, elbow, all that stuff, that's down.
And now the Saints will start this drive from the 49. The first drive was 5 plays and all 5 passes. And now you've got Tomlin throwing the flag. And Tomlin's a guy who very infrequently and judiciously
challenging the ruling on the field. The ball was fumbled and recovered by one of their members of their team.
Mike toward the bottom of the league in terms of challenges, but he thinks he has a chance to win this one. We'll see. Mike Tomlin challenges fewer than 4 plays a year, only 17 in his 3.5 seasons. We think this will stand because watch the elbow. The elbow is down, so's the forearm. End of play. Ball and comes loose.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The runner was down by contact. Pittsburgh will be charged with timeout and a challenge.
All right, so Tomlin now down to his last challenge, and Roethlisberger had already taken a timeout offensively, so Pittsburgh has only won the rest of the half.
But it won't matter because he won't challenge for another 1.5 years now at this point.
That's right. You're right. So now the Saints and Liddell Betts, the longtime Redskin, is the running back here. They fake it to him. Pressure is put on. The pass has gotten away to David Thomas, the number 2 tight end, and he picks up about 9.5. Take a look at the Pittsburgh, the new guys up front, are the new starters anyway. You've got Ziggy Hood, 96, second-year man out of Missouri, number 1 pick last year, and then Nick Eason, veteran, 8th year out of Clemson. And they're the guys who have to fill in for Aaron Smith, who's gone for most of the season, though he's not on IR, and Brett Kiesel, they hope to have back very shortly. Chris Ivory is now the back, and again, it's been all passing for the Saints. And that pass is caught outside by Thomas, and Thomas, who needed only a half a yard, doesn't get it. Lamar Woodley stops him short. It'll be 3rd down.
Well, one of the things the Saints want to do in this ball game is bring in an extra offensive lineman in Zach Street. They want to discourage the Pittsburgh Steelers as much as possible from blitzing them out here. So basically what the Steelers have responded with is just a 3-man rush and then dropping 8 back in coverage.
And they are going to measure. Needed about a half yard. Looked like he was stopped shy. Then in comes the chain gang with 7:02 to play in the quarter. Every play by New Orleans has been a pass. And now it's 3rd down and about 6 lengths.
I tell you how, you talked about those defensive ends, and nobody else really does. But Aaron Smith and Brett Kiesel and Casey Hampton, to me, have really been the cornerstone of Dick LeBeau's defense. When you talk to Dick LeBeau about his football team, the first name that always comes out of his mouth is Aaron Smith. Every single time. Here's a guy that takes on 200-300 pounders time after time. His linebackers can run around and make plays. There's Brett Kiesel, who plays on the other side. Those guys never go to Pro Bowls. They don't get a lot of sacks, but they are the cornerstone and have been for, seems like forever, this Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Dick LeBeau went into the Hall of Fame in Canton in August. How good does he look for 73? And this is their first running play, and they give it to Chris Ivory, and he's going to get stopped at the line of scrimmage, and it's all about forward progress. James Farrier is there. Ike Taylor came up for support, and they're going to mark it a little short of the first down again, 4th down.
I'll tell you what, for a 35-year-old linebacker, that's about as fast a fill as I have seen in a while. James Farrier was like he was shot out of a cannon on that one. There he goes right here. Watch this. Cold. Stopped him cold.
Second oldest linebacker in the league to Jason Taylor. And the Saints are going to line up to go for it on 4th and 1. And indeed they do. And they get the first down. Chris Ivory over right guard. Tackled by Polamalu to move the chains.
Well, maybe the first thing that we've seen so far. Ziggy Hood working against Jari Evans right here. And he's just going to take him right out of the hole. Pretty nice job by Jonathan Stinchcomb as well. Polamalu tried to get over the top, but just unable to get there. Got caught up in the wash of Evans' block.
Now at the 36-yard line. Running back is Jones, and Julius Jones to the outside, and knifing in is Lawrence Timmons. He was their #1 pick out of Florida State in 07.
I'll tell you something that was stunning for me. We had a chance to talk to Keith Butler, the linebacker coach of the Steelers, on the field before the game, and I certainly think Lawrence Timmons has been playing great. There's no question this has been his best year, his healthiest year, but it was the comment that Butler made to me that he felt like that Lawrence Timmons is the best linebacker on his team. Now that's a little stunning right there when you consider these other 3 guys that are out there playing.
You look at that 4 as a group, and on 2nd and long, Lance Moore makes the catch. I mean, among those linebackers, of course, is James Harrison, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in 2008 and made, for my money, the most amazing defensive play in the history of the Super Bowl. You've got Lamar Woodley, Farrier. Well, you know, it's like Penn State and Pittsburgh. Linebacker U and the pro version.
A lot of linebackers in that state.
3rd and 5. And that's batted down by James Farrier. So you start talking about the linebackers and they say, well, we'll make you look good. No kibosh. And now, with Polamalu, you got a...
Yeah, Julius Jones did not like this at the end of this play. It comes out, and then he gets his knees taken out from underneath him. I think he reached down and might have even grabbed a little hair on the back of Polamalu.
Easy to do.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 21 of the offense. Taking a swing at a player and missing. 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
There was an initial reaction by both players, and then it kind of, there we go, he pulled the back of his jersey there, and Polamalu was smart enough to get up. He made his comment, but he went in and took the 15-yard penalty, and it was substantial.
So that's going to make it 4th down and 20. If there's ever a time when it's not terrible, it's probably this, because it gives Morstead a little bit more room to work with. I don't think they were going to try a field goal, because the field goal would have been about 54 yards. So it gives Morstead a little bit more space. Antoine Randall L. drops back at the 11-yard line.
Polamalu has a way of setting the tone, doesn't he?
And Antoine Randall L. will call for the fair catch. And along with some company, makes it at the 10-yard line. 4:04 to go. Opening quarter. Nothing. So the Steelers start the season. Roethlisberger suspended for 4 games. So you have Dennis Dixon making 2 starts. He gets hurt. He's gone for the year. The veteran Charlie Batch made 2 starts. And now you have Roethlisberger. They also brought Byron Leftwich in at the beginning of the season. He got hurt, but he's back right now on the bench. And there they are, the teams to start 5-1, 3 different quarterbacks, and you have 3 of them. And the Chargers in '87, that was part of the replacement situation. So that deserves an asterisk. Weldy Moore is the back on this first down play from the 10-yard line. And they give it to Moore, and he cuts back over left guard. And Weldy Moore with some good, tough running for a gain of 18. And a little push and shovey at the end of the play. Weldy Moore, who played his college football right here at Tulane.
One of the great draft picks, I think, in the draft this year, center Marquise Pouncey. Watch him get up on the linebacker here, cut off the backside of Scott Shanley, and really open up that hole. His ability to move his feet and to get up on that second level has sort of reinvigorated the Steelers' running game.
Pouncey, who was snapping the ball for Tim Tebow last year, puts it in Roethlisberger's hands, and that's Ward to the 29-yard line. Now with Roethlisberger, he was suspended for originally 6 games, violated the league's personal conduct policy, had an incident in Lake Tahoe at a golf tournament in 08, had one in Georgia last spring, and Roger Goodell put him down for 6 games with the possibility it would only be 4. He did the things he was supposed to do. He went in to meet the commissioner, and they knocked it down from 6 to 4. Will he turn his life around? We'll see. 2nd and 9. And this is Moore. And, you know, you can be swayed by guys and all of that. We've known him a long time. He came in yesterday. We met with him. You know, he's saying all the right stuff. You just hope he does the right stuff.
He is, and he said, you know, I've changed, but I changed back to what I was originally. And post sort of Big Ben days, I hope, are completely different than what we've seen in the past. Everybody says he's different, and that's a good thing.
Seeing some of the people you hang around with, that helps. 3rd and 8 from the 30-yard line. Play clock down to 2. Pressure over the middle, underthrown. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. Underthrows Ward. Roman Harper covering on the play. 4th down.
Well, the hot reads just are not working right now. Hines Ward is typically the designated hot read, and Ben Roethlisberger can't hold it as long as these receivers are running up and down the field. You know, he's sitting there with somebody in his face, and the receivers are not turning and looking.
That's Sepulveda's kick. Fair caught at the 18-yard line by Moore. 1:51 left in a scoreless opening period. You ever been here on New Year's Eve?
No. This is, it's been something. We were walking the streets a little bit last night. Oh, baby.
They've done a few sugar bowls. I guess it's the end of whatever month it is, October, December.
I don't think it matters what month it is.
No, you're right. And first down, that pass is incomplete. Marcus Colston never had possession of it. Coverage by Brian McFadden. 2nd down.
You know, you don't get that many chances against these defenses. You have to make that kind of a play. Both these teams so far all 0 for 3 on 3rd down. There's been one 4th down conversion by the Saints, but defense is dominating out here, and there's Colston right in his hands.
Brees 6 out of 10 for 35 yards. A lot of short throws. Chris Ivory to the 20, and he's been the workhorse now with Reggie Bush out and with Pierre Thomas out. 6 games missed now by Bush, and this is the 5th in a row for Thomas.
I'll tell you, that time Ziggy Hood was good. He's right here. He's going to occupy blockers. He's going to allow Timmons to come around. Look, he's going to maintain that gap, squeeze it. Here comes Timmons. That's what an Aaron Smith would do in there. That's a nice play.
And there is Reggie Bush. They thought as the week began he might be ready for tonight. Then they said no. They've got Carolina next week on a bye, so he may not be back for a couple of weeks. 3rd and 8. Just a 3-man rush. 8 back. Pass caught, but it's not going to be a first down. Stopped at the 27-yard line is Jeremy Shockey. And with under a minute to go in the quarter, it's going to be 4th and 1.
You know, it's really been interesting. One of the best pass rushers in the league is right here, James Harrison. And yet, for the most part tonight, because they've had some help and protection on that side, they are just dropping him back. And now he's just making plays as a pass defender. So you want to come over there, you want to help against him, and drop back and make a play.
Third punt from Morstead. You got Emmanuel Sanders, the rookie, who's going to collect it at the 19-yard line. Up past the 30, and a great run back for Sanders, who gets taken down from behind, but not before he crosses the 50, and he's taken down at the Saint 45-yard line. Great run back right there for Sanders, able to sprint away, and he's finally taken down by Courtney Roby.
And they think the sky is the limit for this young man, Emmanuel Sanders. He's in a battle every week in camp with Antonio Brown to see who gets to dress for the game. A former defensive back, only been playing receiver about a year and a half. They love his toughness. I think he's going to be a good one.
54-yard punt, 38-yard return, and wearing Lynn Swan's old number, 88.
You better be good.
Yeah. From the 44-yard line. Fake to Mendenhall. And Roethlisberger will swing it out, checked it down, and got a 9-yard gain to David Johnson on the play, and that'll take us to the second quarter. End of one on Halloween. Pittsburgh, nothing. New Orleans, nothing. NBC Sunday Night Football back after these messages. Aerial coverage tonight brought to you by Geico. Go down to the Superdome and also the New Orleans Arena where the Hornets play basketball. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Andrea Kramer, Sunday Night Football. 2nd and 1. Pittsburgh at the Saints 35-yard line. And that'll be a first down for Mendenhall, taking it to the 31-yard line. And one guy that the Saints will have to watch all night long, Mike Wallace, the emerging wide receiver, and as fast as anybody in the league.
Yeah, Joe Vitt, the Saints linebacker coach, who's been around here since 2006. They started the week showing plays of Mike Wallace and comparing him to guys like Cliff Branch, the old speedster for the Raiders, Randy Moss, saying this guy may be faster than any of those guys, and they started their game plan around him.
Wallace went to Ole Miss, but grew up here in New Orleans. Mendenhall to the 25-yard line. So, of course, you know you have Hines Ward, but then when you have Mike Wallace as well, since last season, 9 receptions of more than 40 yards from the line of scrimmage, most in the league.
Look at those numbers, though. Led the NFL a season ago, almost 20 yards a catch, and they go, well, you know, nobody knew who he was. He surprised guys. Now he's averaging 25 yards a catch.
Right, a quarter of the field. 2nd down and 4 from the 25-yard line. And Mendenhall right through the middle to the 18-yard line. Another first down for the Steelers.
Well, a couple of guys here to watch on this one. You've got Pouncey here, but you also have right here big Flozell Adams moving over to right tackle. Look at that nice block. Turning right out of there, opening up a big gap. Flozell may not be as quick as he once was in pass protection, but you get him going downhill. He's a big, strong man.
From the 18. Flip it out from Mendenhall. Richard will take the ball to the 13-yard line. Shanley and Torrance converge on the stop, gain of 5.
Yeah, Jonathan Vilma is one of those guys, the middle linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, that has just been the quarterback of this defense for so long. In the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning, he was matching call for call with Peyton out there, and he said he's really looking forward to going against Ben Roethlisberger in this one.
Something he hasn't done as a Saint. These two teams meet about every 4 years. 2nd and 5. And that's Vilma stopping Mendenhall.
And of course, we asked Roethlisberger about the matchup in reverse going against Jonathan Vilma, and he said, you know, I've got a matchup I have a couple of times a year against a guy named Ray Lewis that is pretty interesting as well. So he's no stranger to that kind of confrontation.
Third down, 4. Roethlisberger steps up, throws, caught, and that's a touchdown. Antoine Randall L. Then felt the pressure, steps up toward the line of scrimmage, and Randall L., the once and current Steeler, after 4 years in Washington, back into the end zone.
Watch Randall L. right there. He basically is just setting up a pick, gets knocked down. The defense all falls inside on Mewelde Moore. And we'll see whether he gets in or not. Close.
Any part of the ball hits the front of the goal line.
It didn't look like it to me.
Didn't look like it to me either. It would be a first down and goal if Peyton wants to challenge. And he will challenge.
New Orleans is challenging on the ruling on the field that the receiver did not break the play at the goal line.
So the good news is he wins. The bad news is if he wins, it's first down and an inch for a touchdown. Pete Morelli is ready with this call. Touchdown or no touchdown.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed that the runner was short and did not score. The ball will be placed on the 6-inch line, and New Orleans will not be charged a timeout.
It should be overturned. He said confirmed.
Yeah,
no,
but that's significant, though. If in his mind he thought it was placed on the 1, it's completely different call. Because now, if you think that this is a touchdown, you have to overturn it and have conclusive evidence to overturn it. So that is significant, that little difference.
Well, I think he misspoke there because the ruling on the field was a touchdown.
That's my point, though.
Right. And it's not a touchdown.
But he may have thought there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it to make it a touchdown, where in reality there may not have been enough evidence to overturn the fact that it wasn't. You know what I mean? Because he had it flipped in his mind.
It's overturned. It's first and goal. So again, it's the good news, bad news. The bad news is first down at about 2 inches for a touchdown. And they give the ball to the fullback, and that's Isaac Redman. And now all of a sudden, 2 inches becomes about a yard. Second down. What is it with Pittsburgh and goal line plays?
Yeah, one of the great defensive players on this Saints team right here, Will Smith. Watch him slant hard down inside. No reason to do anything but take a chance in this situation. And then it was Ellis on the other side who came through and made the tackle.
So now second down and goal from the 1. Mendenhall. And he will twist, and he is stopped short of the goal line. So we're back to about the 3-inch line, and that's Jonathan Vilma right there, third down and goal.
Well, that was close, too, but I think his backside hit before he rolled over. Let's take a look here. The contact was made. Boy, that's a close one.
Baby.
Just a matter of when his backside hit the ground, which is right there before the elbow hit down.
Well, no challenge from Tomlin. Third and goal. Again, it's Mendenhall, and he's not going to get there. Jeff Charleston, number 97, saves a touchdown. And now what does Pittsburgh do?
I'll tell you what, I couldn't see exactly who it was, but on the end of the line of scrimmage right here, taking out the lead blocker is really what ends up making that play. And we talk about the challenge. What a challenge that was now, huh? had to protect about 1 inch of turf, and they did it.
And in comes the field goal unit, so instead of a touchdown, it'll be a chip shot 19-yard field goal for Jeff Reed. Dan Sepulveda will hold, and the Steelers take the lead, but that's a victory on that drive for the Saints. Great challenge. It works. It saves them 4 points. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football being brought to you by Dish Network. Let's watch TV. By Nissan, innovation for today, innovation for tomorrow, innovation for all. By Windows 7 and by the new Coors Light Silver Bullet aluminum pint. I'm scared.
How about the thing on the opening on camera? Who dropped that up on us? I didn't know who was crawling up behind us. Thought it was one of those guys.
Yep. You never know. Courtney Roby to run back the kick. 27-yard line. Sean Payton came here in 06 post-Katrina, and we all know what's happened since then. But since then, they're third in the NFL in points per game, first in yards per game, third in red zone. Of course, he has the offensive pedigree. Dick LeBeau, since 04, his second tour as the defensive coordinator, first in points allowed as they are this year, and you can see some of the other rankings as well. First in yards, first in sacks, and this year, of course, it's been that defense that's cemented this team and has been the major factor in a 5-1 opening salvo of the season. Chris Ivory out to the 30-yard line for a gain of 4. Chris Ivory, as you look at the two coaches again, you know, LeBeau, it's a great thing with him going into the Hall of Fame. We were talking to Mike Tomlin last night. Said, does Dick ever talk about retiring? He said, absolutely not. Every day is a great day.
Well, James Harrison said, thank God he didn't start crying at the Hall of Fame speech, or he might have had 60 tough guys crying right after him.
2nd and 7. A great defensive back during his playing days, and that pass is caught out in the flat, and Polamalu is right there to make sure Meacham does not escape. 3rd down.
It's like Usain Bolt in the start of the 100 meters. When Polamalu decides to go, he goes. And so do you. I mean, that is, what, a couple of yard gain when he was standing 7 or 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage and maybe 20 yards away. Probably one of the great hustlers in the NFL. We know about him as a hitter, but the guy is just relentless. He never stops pursuing the football.
Can't miss him. Great fun to watch. 3rd and 6 from the 30. Brees has time and makes that pay off. And before Polamalu can get there, Marcus Colston makes the catch for a 1st down.
Well, you can see the little gamesmanship going on with Drew Brees and Troy Polamalu. Brees trying to freeze Polamalu just a bit, just enough to get that ball in out there. He wants him to think there's still the possibility of something coming down the middle. And Brees was actually even saying that we may show him some things that he thinks he knows because he likes to guess, and then maybe be able to do a little double move off of it.
From the 43. Off the fake. Look out from behind. He gets it away, and then it's dropped out in the flat. That was Heath Evans. And James Harrison came in from the back. And that's a scary thought.
Yeah, speaking of scary, that was the old lookout block right there. You as an offensive lineman, you start screaming, look out, here he comes. Harrison just had a moment to get around here on Bushrod. They had the help, the chip, and it was just as he released that football. But those are hits that the quarterbacks remember. Outside the pocket, you do get a little more latitude on that extra step to hit the quarterback, too.
And you know, Harrison's the guy who got fined $75,000 for the hit in the Cleveland game 2 weeks ago. Brees sets up the screen, and that will go nowhere. Jones gets taken down by Lamar Woodley.
Yeah, so you see enough of James Harrison, so you go over to the other guy, and there's Lamar Woodley sitting on the outside right there. And that guy is a monster. I tell you, when you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers on tape, it's almost like they have 5 defensive linemen in the game. Harrison and Woodley are so big. And then the 2 inside guys are really the speed guys. Timmons and James Ferrier are the runners. So if you're going to run the ball on the Steelers, you're doing it against 5 defensive lineman types.
Runs counter to what most teams do in the 3-4. 3rd and 14. And Brees will throw, and that's collected at the 48-yard line, but a little short of the first down is Devery Henderson. They're going to spot it at the 48-yard line, about a yard short with a naked eye of a first down. Maybe a little shorter than that. Ike Taylor is there with the coverage. Pete Morelli looks over to the sideline, and it's going to be 4th down.
And the chant has already started. But, you know, Sean Payton knows what kind of game he's in. You know, here's 2 of the great offensive minds and players going, and Drew Brees and Sean Payton, and both of us said the same thing to us, that against the Pittsburgh Steelers, a punt is not necessarily a bad thing. You just keep the field position going. They know what kind of game it's going to be, but that's a heck of a concession from those 2.
Kind of what Brad Stilger said after last week's Minnesota-Green Bay game. Morstead's kick, fair count's called for. And Antoine Randall takes it at the 10-yard line. 5:12 to go opening half. 3-0 Steelers. With the Giants, Philadelphia, Dallas, and then he got the job here. He wanted the Green Bay job. That was what he wanted. He was sitting in New Orleans ready to be interviewed, but Mike McCarthy got the job in Green Bay. He winds up here, and well, there's a Super Bowl ring.
Worked out all right, didn't it?
Pretty good. Ball at the 10-yard line. First down.
Well, it's been interesting so far that the Steelers have been unable to get the Saints to quit blitzing, and you wouldn't expect that. Greg Williams loves to bring the blitz, but I think the thing that's hurt them so far is the pass rush is getting there before the receivers are breaking off their hot routes. So basically, Ben is left holding the ball, and the receivers aren't looking. So they're just going to have to speed up the clock in their head a little bit and start breaking those off a little more quickly.
2nd and 10. And that's caught by Wallace over the middle at the 30-yard line, running down the hash mark. Mike Wallace with the catch and a gain of 21 yards.
I'm going to tell you what, this is a tremendous sign. Right into double coverage. If a speed receiver is willing to catch that ball and take that kind of shot, he is going to have a brilliant future. We have seen a lot of speed receivers over the years not willing to run that route. That was impressive. Nice catch.
But a 53-yard touchdown pass last week in their win at Miami. Mendenhall to the 34. You know, Chris, we look at this game, and it's very important for both teams in respect to their divisions. Baltimore right now looking good in the AFC North. They had the bye, so Pittsburgh with a win would stay a game in front of them. Baltimore already has beaten Pittsburgh. And all of a sudden, the Saints, the #1 seed last year in the NFC, are in a division where Atlanta is 5-2. They had a bye. And Tampa Bay, knocking off Arizona today, is 5-2. They could be a game and a half behind both teams if they lose tonight. 2nd and 7. Almost picked, and that is Malcolm Jenkins coming right in there as the ball was intended for Hines Ward. They're down.
Well, Malcolm Jenkins knows because the blitz is coming that Hines Ward has to stop. Watch him just sit on this route. He breaks almost before Hines Ward does and nearly comes up with the interception right there. This blitz now is allowing the defensive backs to cheat and make plays.
3 minutes to the half. And that's finally a sack. That's Will Smith, who was piggybacking him, and Ben still wasn't going down until the end.
Well, this is the old Steelers blitz now. They're going to come all off the edge right here. A little stunt back underneath. And right now for Ben Roethlisberger, he has to feel like he's playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're throwing a lot of stuff at Ben Roethlisberger. Remember, without those 4 weeks, and they said the hardest thing he had to deal with, goal line, short yardage, and those third down plays. And so far, the Saints are taking advantage.
And the Saints are going to take a timeout. 2:36 remaining in the half. They'll get the ball when we come back on a punt. 3-0 Pittsburgh. Wednesday night, all new back-to-back episodes of Law and Order. First, Law and Order SVU with guest star Maria Bello, followed by Law and Order Los Angeles. That's this Wednesday night. Here's Sepulveda's punt. Lance Moore. Full catch signal. Ooh, 18-yard line. He had a little room to roam. Here comes Brees. Tremendous year last year. Tremendous postseason. Leads the NFL in completion percentage, but also in interceptions with 10. So what's the issue? Well, the other day he said, you know what? It's been a hodgepodge. Lack of consistency, execution. Talked to him about 4 interceptions last week. He said, you know what? I wanted 5 or 6 of those throws back like any week.
They also said they were lucky. They had some bounce the wrong way. I had a guy break the wrong way on a route. You just got to keep firing.
2 of them run back for touchdowns by the linebacker David Bowens, and that is a plant. Harrison circling around, and that is a facial.
Yeah, this gets set up by his tackle, and then they're going to loop back inside. Watch Eason. He's going to come pick off the tackle, and this was something that we saw the Saints offensive line struggle with last week, and obviously that's one you remember if you're a quarterback.
2nd and 20 as we tick down to the 2-minute warning. Saints will have 2 timeouts on the other side of the 2-minute warning. 3-0 Steelers. Coming up to the halftime show, Packers shut out the Jets at the Meadowlands today. Favre gets knocked out of the game in a big win for New England. Shanahan pulls McNabb in the loss to the Lions. Plenty of stuff to talk about on the Toyota halftime show. On 2nd and 20, Brees going deep, and it's intercepted at the 45-yard line by Ike Taylor, who takes the ball back to the 36-yard line. Ike Taylor coming home to Louisiana and making a big play toward the end of the first half.
Sure. I tell you, Ike Taylor just basically dropped coverage. He was so brilliant on Brandon Marshall last week. He's going to completely ignore the guy on the outside. He's reading Brees' eyes, and watch him just cut right in front of this one for the interception. And I tell you, because the Steelers only had 1 timeout in that situation, a couple of runs, you could milk this clock a little bit, and now you're setting up for a big-time play for Ben.
Ball to 36. Steelers had to use a timeout on the 3rd and 11 earlier and lost a challenge. So they have 1 with 1:50. As Roethlisberger stepping up. On the move, moving forward, throws, and the pass is incomplete. It was a little underthrown. It was Malcolm Jenkins who was there guarding Antoine Randall L.
Well, this is what Roethlisberger does so well. He's going to step up and through the blitz, which is going to buy time for him to work it down the field. And for Malcolm Jenkins, this is just a little lucky. He had no idea where the ball was. It hit him in the back just before he got to Antoine Randall L. Would have been pass interference, but I think it hit him before he got to Randall L.
Exactly.
Randall L made the mistake. He should have come back for the ball, would have had it on the 1.
Had there been contact, it would have been pass interference. 2nd down and 10 from the 36-yard line. And look out, that was Sharper who came across the line. It's an offside, it's a free play, and it's Wallace taking it to the 23-yard line.
to the defense. Penalty be declined. Result of the play is a first down.
It's a nice job by Ben to keep that play going. He knew that he had a free shot there, and the double coverage really never got a chance to get there. They were trying to take Mike Wallace out on that side. And Ben said, what the heck, I'm going to get the ball in the hands of my playmaker. I've got a free one.
First down from the 23. Roethlisberger throws into traffic, and a flag is thrown, and Ward is down. He was contacted. He was bracketed. He's going to get up right now. Sharper and Prelo, the two safeties, are there.
And that may have been helmet
Pass
to helmet.
interference, number 86. Offense. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
They called it on Hines Ward to push off. There we go, running right down the middle of the field right here. And just before this ball is getting there, see if he pushes. There was. He pushes off on Prelo. It was not helmet-to-helmet contact. Just a good hit and an excellent call by the officials. Just a little push off there. Well, you don't see that call often, but it was the appropriate call.
Torrance came in at the end on the backside. There's Prelo. Torrance comes in from the back right at the goal line, and that moves the ball back to the 33-yard line. That's the first penalty tonight against the Steelers. First and 20. And the Saints are going to take a timeout. Well, 3-0. You know, you tune in and you go, not much is going on. Plenty going on for a 3-0 game, you know.
Well, Greg Williams and Dick LeBeau, two great defensive coordinators, so it's not totally surprising. One comes out of the Buddy Ryan branch, and the other one out of that whole zone blitz kind of thing, and Dick LeBeau. So these guys have been going after it pretty good tonight.
You know, you're talking about Mike Tomlin. It's such a funny deal. I mean, when he got the job in Pittsburgh after Bill Cowher leaves following the 06 season, he came out of nowhere. He'd been the defensive coordinator at Minnesota. He's a part of the Tony Dungy tree. Tony, when he was at Tampa Bay, brought Mike to Tampa Bay. Then Tony gets fired, goes to Indianapolis. He wants to bring Mike with him, but Mike was under contract. And he was telling us, he can kid about it now. He said, I tried to get John Gruden to fire me, but he wouldn't. And of course, he wound up with a Super Bowl ring the next year when Tampa Bay knocked off Oakland.
But looks like the reason that they had to take the timeout, Lee Torrance, after that hit, and you can see there was a little bit of helmet-to-helmet contact there. He ends up getting dazed out of it, and so they really are out of defensive backs and basically had to use one of their timeouts to get him back on the field.
He's out of the game. Usama Young will take his spot. You saw Prelo, first and 20. From the 33, and it's batted and incomplete. Will Smith batted it.
Well, one thing we've seen more and more of is when you're only rushing 3 or 4 guys and you know you're not going to get there, these defensive linemen now know, get your hands up. And Will Smith did the job that time, coming back around from right here. Doesn't get there, working on Starks. Just look at the quarterback and go get him. But right now, the New Orleans Saints have 5 safeties on the field.
Now they get Torrance back into the game after he came out for one play. Patrick Robinson has started the game. He got hurt early on. He hasn't been back in. And they're missing their 2 starting corners to begin with. Second and 20, and the pass is underthrown. 3rd and long coming up.
And this is going to be a really interesting call here defensively. You can play it safe, not wanting to give up the first down, touchdown, all that kind of stuff. Or you can come get them and try and knock them out of field goal range. And if Greg Williams stays true to form, it's going to be the go-get-them variety.
Right now they'd be looking at a 51-yard field goal if this is an incomplete pass. 3rd and 20. And Ben buys time, throws, juggled, incomplete, intended for Ward. And it's 4th down now.
And don't underplay the significance of not getting that completion, because that would have added at least another 5, 6, 7 yards to this field goal.
Instead, it's going to be 50 or 51 yards for Jeff Reed, who's thrilled, of course, to be kicking indoors. At home, that's one of the toughest places in the league because of the soft turf and the open end and the wind.
And if you miss it, you're going to give the Saints great field position here.
And they have one timeout. They get the ball at the 41. 51-yard attempt. Sepulveda puts it down, and Reed's kick is no good.
Now we got a little different story. So another tremendous defensive stand by the Saints. They have the one on the goal line. They have the one after the turnover. You go back to this sequence of plays, and it really was the difference. Cedric Ellis comes inside, makes a huge play first of all. Danny Clark's going to come in and take out all the interference and keep that one from getting in the end zone. One more time, just like it, and all of a sudden now the Saints in a great position to try and score before the half.
That came after a challenge by Sean Payton of what would have been a touchdown. And that's an 8-yard pass. Jeremy Shockey to the 49, getting up to save a timeout. They keep it going with the no-huddle. Under a minute. Four-man rush. Brees, and that will be hauled in by Henderson. The catch is good at the 37-yard line.
Well, you could see Lawrence Timmons just reacting a little bit. He was the underneath coverage, really not Ike Taylor's guy. Timmons reacted to the inside receiving just a bit, and it was enough for Drew Brees to get it in there. That was a beautiful throw over the top.
Good ballet work by Henderson at the end, getting both feet down from the 37. And Brees would have done that for another first down at the 25 to Marcus Colston, but there is a flag down.
Number 78. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And John Stinchcomb just cost him 10 yards.
Well, it's just so hard to single block these guys on the outside, and John Stinchcomb that time just basically had to grab Lamar Woodley and take him down. Really wasn't much doubt about it. Comes Woodley off the edge, and Stinchcomb's going to get his arm up over the top. Well, there's a little bit of a slip there too, but certainly to the official it looked like it. Harrison, that low center of gravity, almost got there as well.
First and 20. Look out. Brees gets whacked as he throws, but he winds up hitting Colston, and he gets to the 20-yard line. Lawrence Timmons came in, and Brees looked right down the gun barrel and threw a perfect pass for a big first down.
How fast is Lawrence Timmons that he can come from that deep and almost make this sack? He just hit the Jets here and then hit Drew Brees, who again dropped it in just over the top, and this has been a masterful drive so far by Brees.
27 yards, they're in field goal range, clearly. Ball at the 20-yard line. One timeout left for them. Brees, incomplete. Intended for Jeremy Shockey and Ryan Clark. The safety back there with him, 2nd and 10.
And now this has been really the difference so far for Drew Brees this season. Last year in the final 2 minutes of either half, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 104 rating. This year, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and just a 52 rating. So these moments in the game have really been the difference to some degree in their season.
You saw that graphic January of 02. That was the end of the 01 season. So it's been 9 years since this team has been shut out at home in the first half as Liddell Betts takes the ball to the 13-yard line. And the Saints right now letting the clock for the moment run, and now they're going to take that last timeout. So you have a third down. Take one shot at the end zone or make sure you get out of bounds here.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. I think that will take that shot as well, but you know the Steelers have the ability to come up with a sack. The first thing you say to Drew Brees is you cannot take a sack in this situation, but it is, 13, 14 yards away, so the receivers have to get down the field a bit too.
And he knows that. He has to work the end zone or work the outside to make sure they can get a clock stoppage, because you can't spike it anyway. It's going to be, unless you get the first down, but chances are minimal that you can get it spiked and get the field goal attempt. So you go for 6, so you got to get it out of bounds. 3rd and 3. Instead they're going to throw it underneath. Whoa. Liddell Betts, of all things.
That was the best drop of the night so far by the Saints. He catches that ball, and they are not going to get a field goal opportunity.
It would have been very dubious.
There's no way. They had receivers all over the field, and I don't think 12 seconds you're making that play. You're getting up and spiking the football. That was a big mistake by Brees, and here you go.
Strange call. Now you got Hartley lining up for it. Now they got Chase Daniel. He's the holder. He's also a quarterback. It's 4th down and 3, and Tomlin calls a timeout.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. 3rd and final team timeout.
That's a brilliant call.
Yep.
You know, I mean, seriously, for a young coach to understand that he can end that right there with a timeout.
Right.
Look at Mike say, yeah, I got him. That's right.
Yep.
How much fun is he to be around?
He's great, and he's sharp as attack, too. I mean, we knew that when first time we met him, the young coach. He's, what is he, 38 years old now. Gets the job when he's 34, celebrates his 35th birthday that year, wins the Super Bowl at 36. And he loves this chess game, too. You can see it, that big smile on his face after he called the timeout.
You know, you just have to wonder, did they end up doing the Saints a favor? Because now they may get 3 points, and who knows what would have come out of that other trick play.
A lot of stuff we'll never know.
Yeah, especially on this night.
31-yard attempt. Garrett Hartley. It's an interesting spell here in New Orleans, and he's able to bang it through. So after the missed 51-yard attempt by Pittsburgh, short field, 41-yard line, they begin. Tomlin says, yeah, I know. We had our field goal group in there. They had Chase Daniel, a quarterback, in there.
You know what those defensive guys are telling him? You should have let him run the play, man. We were on that. There's no way. They would have gotten nothing out of that one. He said, I know. I called it.
2011 Pro Bowl balloting is beginning. Send your favorite players to Hawaii for the 2011 Pro Bowl. Voting online with your mobile phone at NFL.com/Pro Bowl. You vote, they play.
He's not going to play, though. Have you ever seen so many people in costumes in your life?
All over town.
They got the Guinness people here, right? This may end up being the record for the biggest costume party or whatever it is tonight.
What's the methodology to determine that?
You go 1, 2, 3, 50,000. That's what I would do.
What's the old record?
It's like 500, I think. How lame is that?
8 seconds. Be a bouncing ball. Scooped by Sanders. Sanders will go out of bounds, and the clock will show 1 second. So one more snap, and the teams will retreat to the locker rooms.
Ben's got a strong arm. Do you feel like taking this kind of a chance and heaving one down there or not? I think Ben can get it to the end zone from here, but
just about.
I don't think they're going to do it.
1 second. Roethlisberger 8 out of 16, 71 yards. Brees 14 of 22. 114. No, not quite the Hail Mary formation that we've come to know and love. Into the half. No touchdowns, just a pair of field goals. It's 3-3 at the break. So at a half halftime show next. First, these messages from your local NBC station.